Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk to you about the 3 things that you have got to be saving your money for. My name's Sean Hilliard with Think Money. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, follow, comment your favorite friend that you feel like needs to hear this in the comment section below. Go ahead and tag them. Make sure that they're watching this too, because this is going to help change your life for the future. Hey, like I said at the beginning, 3 things that you've got to be saving your money for today. The first thing, you've got to be saving for emergencies. Unexpected expenses happen all the time. 78% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. That means that 8 out of 10 people on your street, 8 out of 10 family members, if a paycheck doesn't come in, which is probably a lot of people that you know right now, they're experiencing that today. Their whole life, their whole financial life could be flipped upside down. 69% of people, guys, have less than $1,000 set aside in savings, meaning if they have an emergency that's more than $1,000, how are they going to cover it? Credit cards, loans, something, I don't know. I'm in a garage. My wife and I have made over $500 just selling random items that we've been cleaning out in our garage. So you can do it too. You got to get that money set aside for those emergencies so that when they come, it takes that crazy day, that chaotic day, and turns it into a very normal day because it's just another expense. The most bizarre thing about unexpected expenses to me is that they're predictable. You don't know what they're going to be. You don't know how much they're going to cost, but you know that they're going to happen eventually, and you want to be prepared. You do not want to be unprepared for emergencies when they come. There are 3 questions I want you to ask yourself whenever you think that an emergency has come up. The first one, is it urgent? Second, is it unexpected? And third, is it necessary? So I want to give you an example. Let's say you're driving down the road, you're going on your way to work, and then you hit a pothole and your tire pops. Is that unexpected? Probably, yeah. I don't think you planned to pop your tire that day. What's up, Brian? Number 2, is it urgent? Yeah, I think you probably need to get that tire fixed so that you can get to work again in the future. Third, is it necessary? Again, I mean, you got to get it done. You need to get it done as soon as possible so that you can keep going on with your life so that it doesn't disrupt everything. So ask those questions. Is it emergent? Is it unexpected? Is it urgent? And is it necessary? If you answered yes to all of those, pretty safe to say that it's an emergency. Follow some plan of some kind when it comes to building up an emergency fund. I recommend the Dave Ramsey baby steps. That's what we have followed. It's been really successful for us. But if you're following a plan and you're actually doing it, you'll be successful. But I recommend 3 to 6 months of expenses, not income, expenses. Because once you have your expenses taken care of for 3 to 6 months, that means that no matter what's going on, if you have no income coming in at all, you're going to be okay for 3 to 6 months. Second thing that you need to be saving for, larger purchases that are not emergencies. Things that you know that are going to be coming up in the future, like tires. I kind of talked about them earlier. A popped tire is an emergency. A wear and tear tire that you know you're going to have to replace is not an emergency. And you've got to be ready for it when it happens. So if it's tires, if it's inspection dues, registration, property taxes, home repairs, these things you know are going to happen eventually, and you want to be prepared for them. You do not want to be stuck in no man's land with no money when you've got to pay for something that's expensive. That will turn a normal day, what it should be, into a crisis kind of a day. So be aware of those things that aren't so regular, though. The best way that I know how to do it is to look at your budget, and if you haven't done one, take a look back at the last year's expenses in that month. You know, was there something that month that happened that is abnormal to the rest of your life? Did your spouse have something? Did you have something? Did your church have something? Did your kids have something that was going on that is not the norm? Maybe you always want to take a quick weekend trip to this place. You want to save up for it over time. You don't want to just have to make sure that you can handle it out of that month. So take a look at those past expenses if you can. Check it out. That'll get you a little bit more prepared for when that when that comes up. Comment below if you think that it'd be valuable to take a look at a budget and break that down in a future video to see what it might look like for you, or maybe just a sample case family that I've seen before. Third thing that you want to be prepared for, guys, and that you want to save for is your future. I've got 4 things within your future that I know that every single person really wants to be prepared for. The first one is probably pretty obvious, retirement. Retirement is going to happen. It just is. Whether you choose to retire because you don't want to work anymore, or your body or mind chooses that it's time to be done, it's going to happen, and you need to be ready for it. Social security is not enough to live off of. It's going to be there to some extent, hopefully, probably for all of us that are watching this, but I don't want you to make it the whole cake. I want you to make it the icing on the cake, or if you're from the South, I want you to make it the gravy on the biscuit, because if you make it the whole cake or the whole biscuit and that's it, that's all you have, your future is not going to be as fun as you want it to be. So make sure that you are not banking on Social Security. Make sure that you are preparing by saving for retirement yourself, investing over the long term, and you'll be a lot more ready. Second thing, college. Side note to go with the first part of retirement. Save for your kids' college after you've saved for your retirement. You've got to be ready to retire. And remember that there are a lot of ways that kids can pay for college, but there's really only one way that you can pay for retirement. If you don't have kids right now, don't worry about this. Don't plan for something that might happen in the future. Plan for something that you know will happen. You know, once you have kids, they're probably going to go to college, so then you can start saving for it. But again, if you want to help your kids out with college and you have time and extra money and you're already prepping for retirement, look at something like a 529 plan, or look at something like an educational savings account, or an ESA, or a Coverdell is sometimes what it's called. These accounts give you tax-free growth when you use the money in those accounts for college or secondary education expenses. And that can mean anything from, room and board, tuition, books, computer costs, food plan costs. It really can be almost anything if it's necessary for that student to attend that university. Or that high school, or they made some changes last year with the Secure Act that kind of broadened that up. But if it's necessary for them to go to school, it can be covered and you get tax-free growth. And in some states, you can get a tax break or a deduction by contributing to a 529. So you might want to look at that, talk with a tax pro if you think that you might want to do that. But it's a great way to go to be prepared for your kids going to college. Please, please, please do not take out Parent Plus loans. Do not take out loans in your kids' names. Just don't do that stuff, guys. You really can prepare your kids for an amazing future. They can have a 10-year leg up on their friends if they don't have debt when they come out of college. The third thing for your future, having fun, guys. Like when you retire, I think you want to have some fun. You don't want to be stuck at home living off Social Security and not being able to go do anything that you've wanted to do your whole life. I mean, this is why we work so hard for so long. When you retire, maybe it's going on a cruise. Maybe it's going on international flight trips once or twice a year. Maybe it's RVing around the country and seeing all 50 states and taking a trip to Hawaii and Alaska and those sorts of things. These are all things that cost money. And if you don't have that money, you just can't go. I mean, you can't continue to go into debt when you're in retirement because you don't have any other money coming in other than what you've already saved up. And so if you don't have enough, there's really not a lot of fun that you're going to get to have. And the last thing, guys, this is the best part. Giving. If you prepare today and you have more than enough later, you can be a person that is always giving when you get to your future and when you get to your retirement. I think this is the most fun that you'll ever have with money. I've never, ever had a conversation or come across somebody who has told me that they wish they hadn't given something to somebody. It didn't make them feel good to bless that struggling single mom. I wish I hadn't tithed to my church. I've never heard anybody say that, because there's something that happens inside your spirit when you give, when you realize that, this money was given to you to manage and you're doing good things with it by giving it back to others and changing someone else's life for the better. If you don't have any money, you can't do that. And so when you start saving today for your future, you might have excess where you can be giving a lot more than you maybe are today. I think it's great to give today. I think my wife and I, for just to give you an example, like we have big ambitious dreams for what we want to do with our giving. We want to be big givers to an organization called Nehemiah Vision Ministries. They're based out of Haiti. We've gone down there. I've been there once. My wife's been there 3 times. And we have big hearts for that organization and for the people that are down there. And they have some big needs. And the fact is, if we don't have a lot of money, we really can't fulfill all those needs. We can sponsor a child, but what if we wanted to sponsor 50? You've got to have money to do that. And so just to recap those 4 things again for your future: retirement, college, fun, and then giving. There's 3 things that you can do with money, right? You can save it, you can spend it, and you can give it. You've got to be doing all 3. If you're not, your life will not be as fulfilling as you'd want it to be. So you've got to be doing each and every one of those. So there they are, guys. 3 things that you've got to be doing with your money right now. You've got to save for emergencies. You've got to save for those future expenses that you know are going to happen in the future. And then you've got to be saving up for your future so that you're prepared to retire and help your kids and have some fun and give back to others. That's it. If you have questions, comment them below. Tag your friends that should see this. It's going to be posted ongoing. I wish you the best. God bless you. And let me know if you have any questions.